Hello everyone, and today we're at my HANGSMAN'S Alley settlement, and I want to show you a little backstage in order for you to understand some problems I had to face during building of this settlement. So let's take a look at this place. Here we have some glass panes I placed in order to these windows look like there's light from inside. For some strange reason, this glass pane behaves strangely. I guess it reflects the surrounding lights, so it makes an impression that these windows are light up. So in this settlement we have a bunch of buildings around, and some of these buildings are made from several pieces and some of them are just one prefab. No matter where you click, it would be the same ID because it's one whole piece, which means that this whole building is one prefab. And as you can see, I have a door here, but this door leads to nothing. There is a plywood here. The thing is, because this building is one part, I could not disable, I could not remove this plywood piece, so I just slapped a door here to make an impression that this interior is accessible. And I also have these things pretty much everywhere. There is nothing behind this door also, it's just a plywood piece, but it looks like you could access this. The same thing going on here. I just covered this plywood with a door, so it makes an impression that you could access this interior and this building, but you could not. This is also one whole prefab. Talking about interiors, in the game there is no doorway here, there is just a bunch of fake windows like we have here. No, we can't see them here, but in the game there is just a blank structure, no doorway, no access, and the same thing is going on this side, no access to the interior. In the game we don't have access to any interiors, so I had to make them using mod pieces. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If we go here, we have a little suspicious door here. Let's discover what's behind it. And here we have some kind of back rooms, just an empty space with nothing inside. That is because we are breaking the game right now and we are not supposed to be here in the first place. So let's take a look. So what I did is I built a small box inside of nothing. And this situation is all over the place. We have this building here, and of course there is also nothing inside, just empty space. But I of course had to make an impression that I have a hotel here, and of course I had to slap a fake door here. So I've been talking about interior space, and I've entered the workshop, so you can see that this piece and this piece nearby and also everything inside is custom made using parts from this mod. Here it is. I personally think that this mod is very good. It's basically the same thing that the same building parts that developers used to build objects on a map. There is many things, and I used this deco kit building structures, and I used lobby B structures on this build. We have walls and these doorways. We have the same situation here. Here was a wall, blank wall, and I've replaced it with a doorway from this mod. And the same thing going on with this weapons shop. I've replaced a bunch of structures with mod pieces Originally there were windows in a place where now the doorway is. And behind this door we have living quarters, and every part here was placed manually. There were nothing inside, just emptiness, like I showed you. The building we're currently in have the upper floor, but I faced the building limit. It lies somewhere around this line, so I could not build any higher and make this upper floor livable. You also could clearly see the difference between original game structure and my structure on Windows. Yeah, my windows are like real, and in game windows are just a blank texture. So I also had a problem with this ceiling. As I told you, we have a build limit here, and despite the fact that I could snap these pieces, they were red. I could not place them, so I had to place them firstly. I had to place them on the floor. They were snapping on the floor for some reason, and then I had to manually rise them up using console commands. If we type get pose, we could have coordinates of an object, and if we type set pose, z, so we could change coordinates of the object, just like that. It moved. So every ceiling piece here were manually placed using console commands like that. I also had a problem with this building inside because it creates not very desirable angle. This building is this building, and it protrudes in outside and creates not very desirable shape. So these floor pieces were not snapping, were not placeable with this building in a way. So I had to constantly play with fire and disable this building so I could snap this floor to its place. I also had a problem with alignment of these outside walls with this balcony, because as you can see we have a gap here. Here it is, a gap, and these outside walls, they were snapping to this floor, and I had to again move them manually using console command to snap properly, to be located properly, to match with outside of the building. This gap is present on the whole upper floor, but it was partially resolved with furniture, and this gap is not really visible. In this settlement there was also a slight problem with water, because we have no suitable place to place a water pump, and also water pumps really not suitable for this cyberpunkish aesthetic, and they would not be looking very well, so I had to hide them inside of the buildings. Like here, for example, using no clip, I've placed these water pumps inside. There is nothing inside except these water pumps. This place I also decided not to use it because it's not really usable, it's not desirable shape, but I've hid water pumps here. Another place with hidden things is here. As you can see, here's a bunch of beds, because there is also not enough beds, and the whole nuclear generator just chilling out here behind this structure. Using no clip you could do this little trick and hide a bunch of objects. Despite the fact that this trick is kinda cheating, yeah, it's game breaking, but it allowed me to keep the street relatively clean. Also, this settlement have a strange feature. If you're no clipping and you go slightly under the ground, you already have this warning about exiting the workshop. It's very strange. I hadn't seen anything like this in other settlements. The food problem. There is not enough place to grow food in this settlement, so I had to use these little glowing mushrooms. They do not acquire a lot of space, but they create half a point of food, yeah, and I use them along with mute fruit, so my settlers could have something to eat. Talking about this building, I had the same problem here. You can see this canopy on the roof. This was not placeable because of height limit, because of build limit of this settlement. So I had to place this canopy down there and manually raise them up using console commands. So thank you everyone for watching. Just a little video about some problems I faced during the construction of this settlement building, but the main problem is still my frame rate. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm recording, but anyway, thank you for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.